classical music is about expression, but you only, not, I wouldn't say allowed, you're only able to express yourself and to sort of break the rules once you know them. I was fortunate, I'm not old enough to have known Casals or Piatigorsky, those great cellists, but I'm old enough to have studied with direct students of them. And for instance, Casals, as a child, played for Brahms, his Brahms sonata. Today I taught that sonata. Casals taught this sonata to Bernard Greenhouse, who was my teacher. So there's a direct line, and therefore there's sort of responsibility for my part. And I remember Greenhouse telling me, Amit, now it's your turn to pass on the tradition, to accept, to digest tradition of how to make a phrase. What does it mean to change speed of vibrato? What does it mean to produce colors with a bow? These are not things that I invented. I might have put my own touch to how to explain it, but these are all elements that Greenhouse shared with me. It's elements that Casals shared with him. I could only wish, I can just look up and wish that Greenhouse, who passed away, would know that I'm using this cello now. But Greenhouse, being a student of Casals and Foreman, by the way, and Lawrence Lesser, being a student of Piatigorsky, that for me meant a connection to those people and responsibility to make sure that I share what I've got from them. And one thing I have is good memory. And I do remember every single note what those teachers told me, because it meant so much to me. I am responsible, I feel obliged in a way to pass it on. The other one, the personal one, is that I love teaching. It's the best lesson for me as a cellist. I'm still a performer, and the moment that I'm able to verbalize emotion, that I'm able to verbalize color into a technical way of doing it, to create it, the moment I do that, it's in a different place in my brain, and I'm able to do it better as a cellist. And then comes the joy. The joy of creating a magical moment on stage as a cellist. There are no words to create it. That magical moment, only few people are lucky enough to experience, where you have 2,000 people listening to you, and you create that moment where nobody breathes, and you basically hold their heart, and you can turn it anywhere you want. It's a very powerful moment, it's a very emotional moment. But the moment where you give a student this piece of knowledge, how to create a phrase, or how to make a magical moment, or how to create sound that has 3 dimensions to it. The moment that you see that understanding, this acknowledgement in their eyes, and you hear it in their ears and in your ears, is more enjoyable for me than creating a magical phrase myself. So I need it in a selfish way as a person. I need to see that I can affect other people in a way. Some people do it in politics, some people do it with sculpture, some people build houses. I share knowledge and I teach them to make music. And when I see it happen, it gives me the greatest joy. Bigger joy than even to play a phrase myself. And now at Peabody, where I teach regularly, I already have what I like to call grandchildren. I know I'm young, but I have already former students who went back to their own countries. And they taught for 5-6 years in a university. And their own students come and audition for me at Peabody. And all of a sudden, all those basic things that I talk about, of how to approach music, how to make your voice coming out through the cello, they know it. I see it and I hear it, and that gives me the greatest joy, because I know that I've affected those people. I've affected their life and the life of their own students. And I maybe look sometimes to the sky with a smile to my teacher, to Greenhouse, and I say, I took your word. I continue the tradition.